When I rented that hotel room, I expected a bed, a bathroom, and a mirror. What I didn't expect was for the mirror to show me something I couldn't unsee. I'd been driving for 12 hours straight, the kind of drive where the landscape blurs and the radio fades to static. The endless highway had swallowed my last bit of energy, leaving me a ghost of a man behind the wheel. Every motel I passed was either full, boarded up, or charging more than my wallet could handle. The gas tank was nearly empty, my phone was dead, and the world felt like it was shrinking down to a single exhausted point. That's when I saw it, a lone neon sign flickering in the distance. The word vacancy glowed in a sickly green, but half the bulbs in the letters were burnt out, and the L in available blinked like a nervous tick. The sign promised a room for just $25. It looked like a set from a low-budget horror film. The building was older than my parents' house, its paint peeling like sunburned skin, the windows cracked and stained yellow. But exhaustion was a heavier burden than any fear, and I pulled into the lot. The lobby was almost empty, smelling of stale cigarette smoke and damp carpet. A man sat behind the counter, his eyes a dull gray, his face a mask of profound indifference. He didn't greet me. He just slid a heavy, rusty key across the counter without a word. The tag attached to it a stained piece of plastic with the number 6 scrawled on it. His voice, when he finally spoke, was a low, flat mumble. Room 6. Cash only. I paid, my fingers fumbling with the bills. He didn't offer a receipt, just went back to staring at the wall behind me, as if watching a TV show that only he could see. The hallway to room 6 was a long, narrow tunnel of peeling wallpaper and buzzing, flickering lights that made my teeth ache. The air grew colder with every step, and the carpet, a grotesque floral pattern, felt sticky under my shoes. The door to room 6 groaned open, protesting my entry. The room was a time capsule of forgotten things. A lumpy bed with a floral comforter, a single chair with a cigarette burn melted into the vinyl, and a wooden dresser bolted to the wall. Above the dresser, a mirror hung, gleaming and spotless, completely out of place in such a filthy room. It was the only thing in the entire place that felt clean, and that made me wary. It seemed to draw the light, reflecting it with a cold, almost predatory efficiency. I set my bag down, took a quick, cold shower that smelled of copper, and collapsed onto the bed, too tired to even think straight. But the mirror, it bothered me. As I lay there, I couldn't stop staring at its strange, clean surface. The frame was carved with symbols I didn't recognize, a series of half-erased letters or ancient scratches that didn't feel random, but deliberate, like a language I'd forgotten. I told myself I was just tired, that my mind was playing tricks on me. But when I sat up to rub the exhaustion from my eyes, my reflection moved a split second late. It was a tiny delay, almost imperceptible, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. It felt like a hiccup in reality, a tear in the fabric of the world. I froze, my breath held. I raised both hands slowly to test it. The reflection hesitated, a fraction of a heartbeat behind, then copied my movement. The feeling of misalignment sent a cold shiver down my spine, settling in my stomach like a stone. I tried to convince myself it was just a trick of the flickering light, or my own tired eyes, but deep down, I knew I was wrong. I leaned closer to the mirror, my reflection leaning with me. But then something changed. My reflection smiled. I wasn't smiling. My face was a mask of fear and confusion. I touched my cheek, and my reflection touched its own, still grinning that eerie, unnaturally wide smile. That's when I saw it. The reflection wasn't exactly me. The face was thinner, the skin a pasty white, the veins showing through like a network of spiderweb cracks. The eyes were hollow, sunken, too dark to belong to anyone alive. And then, a detail that made my blood run cold. A thin, jagged scar ran across its throat, a scar I didn't have, a scar that looked like a secret I didn't own. I stumbled back, knocking the chair over with a loud crash. My reflection didn't stumble. It just stood there, watching me, its unnerving smile growing wider. I scrambled to the floor, reaching for my phone that had slipped out of my pocket. As I bent down to grab it, my reflection didn't move. It stayed upright, its head tilted slightly, as if it was studying me, analyzing my every move. Then its lips moved. At first, no sound came from the room. Then, a faint whisper, like dry leaves skittering across pavement, seemed to come from inside the mirror itself. Leave before it's too late. The voice wasn't mine. It was deeper, cracked, like it had been scraped across stone. A voice that came from underground. Panic shot through me, cold and sharp. I grabbed my phone, scrambled to my feet, and ran to the door. I yanked it open, desperate to escape, but the hallway was gone. There was nothing on the other side of the threshold, just a blackness stretching on forever, an abyss that swallowed all light and sound. It wasn't the dark of a power outage. It was a hungry, empty void, as if the hotel didn't exist beyond the confines of my room. A chilling breeze that wasn't air at all pulled at my clothes. A current of non-existence. I slammed the door shut, my heart a frantic drum against my ribs. I turned back to the mirror and it was empty. No reflection at all, just a flat black surface that seemed to absorb the light, turning the room into a deep, claustrophobic darkness. I crept closer, shaking with a terror that felt like it was peeling my skin off. Then slowly, a pale hand pressed against the glass from the inside. My hand, but not mine. The figure stepped forward, grinning wider than humanly possible, its eyes too dark and empty to belong to anything alive. It mouthed words I couldn't hear, then whispered one last time, clear as day, the voice filling the room and the air around me. I'm not your reflection. I'm what's left when you're gone. I grabbed my bag, a primal scream caught in my throat, and smashed the mirror with the chair. The glass shattered with a sound like bone against ice, shards scattering across the floor. In every broken piece, I saw a dozen warped versions of that grinning face. I ran back to the door, yanked it open, and threw myself into the blackness. I don't remember how I got out of that hotel. Maybe I never should have been there. Maybe I still am. Because now, every mirror I pass doesn't feel like my own. I haven't driven that stretch of highway again, but I've seen the motel on old maps, the little L in available blinking, like a bad eye. It's a phantom on a map, a memory no one else seems to have. Sometimes late at night, when I'm brushing my teeth, I swear my reflection lags. And sometimes, when the bathroom door is left slightly ajar, I catch a glint in the mirror, a hint of a smile I didn't start, a reminder, a promise, or a countdown. I cover the bathroom mirror with a towel before I sleep. But in the morning, the towel is folded neatly on the floor, as if something on the other side prefers honesty between us. And my phone, on silent, sometimes vibrates with a call from me at impossible hours. If I answer, I hear nothing but a faint whisper. Open the door. I always hang up. The last time I opened the door, the world wasn't there. I test reflections less now. But sometimes, when I'm in a store, I catch my eyes in a glass window and my stomach tightens. The lag is smaller now, a half beat. A brief moment where the person in the glass considers not following. That half second is the space between me and it feels like the thinnest glass in the world. I don't know what will happen when it finally catches up. I just know what it said, what it is, and what I must do every day to stay ahead. Leave before it's too late.